is Satya Janssen, and I talk about things. So I wanted to talk about Louis C.K. today. First of all, I liked his comedy a lot. If I could find it anywhere, I would always look for it, and I thought it was really funny. So I really, really liked it, especially his modern things, so in the last few years. But then the whole scandal came out, according to what happened with Me Too and so on. And well, first of all, he admitted to what he did. So, and then he went into a rehab facility or something. And after now about a year, he's come back and he's performing again. So a lot of people have posed the question: should he be back? Should he return to his old job? Should he just be able to just start where he left off? And I mean, no one is saying he's supposed to go to prison or something for it, because like the ladies, the women didn't press any charges. I don't think what he did, I don't know if he could go to prison for it. I don't think so. But he decided himself that he wanted to take time out and he wanted to listen. Now he's come back and he's performing as basically a surprise act. So people who go in there they can expect that someone will perform that they don't know about before, but they don't know that it's going to be Louis C.K. So that means that the people who go there, it's more difficult for them to opt out of it. So it's not like they know, oh, okay, this is the program, Louis C.K. is going to be there, I don't want to be there, so I don't buy the ticket. He just comes up there, and it's with other comedians also, like other comedians also make surprise appearances, and it is known that that can happen and that will happen, so people could also expect that it could be Louis C.K. The question is, if he should re-enter his job, shouldn't he be doing it by selling tickets? So being like, okay, this is me, I'm going to perform again, do you want to buy some tickets? And then people can actively decide, oh, okay, I want to go back and watch his comedy and I'm fine with it, and then they can spend their money on him. Then he can see how successful he is and if it makes sense for him to return fully. In this way, he's kind of pushing himself on people the same way that he did on the women. So it kind of gives a feeling like he didn't understand what it was all about. But I think this whole discussion is out of place anyway. We are not at that point yet. We cannot already be talking about him returning without thinking about, should he be returning at all? So he left himself saying that he wanted to listen. And I think if he was truly feeling ashamed and guilty over what he did, this should have been a learning experience for him. At the very least, he should express it and address it in his comedy. He should show through his content that he learned what he did wrong, and that he learned about consent and about boundaries and about everything that came out in the Me Too debate. And that's what he owes as a public figure. I don't want an apology from him. He can apologize to the women directly, but I don't think the public has any right or even a need to be part of that. He shouldn't apologize to us. He should show that he learned from it, because there is no framework. There's nothing that we can say, oh, okay, now you've learned it and it's done or something. There's not a process yet. But he could have, and he has the talent to do it, he could have addressed it in his comedy. And it could have been a real big step for everyone to see, oh, okay, this is how you can do it. And if he really wanted to go the extra mile, if he really wanted to show that he is sorry, then he could have invited one of the victims, or all of them, or anyone who wants to come on stage with him and have a serious conversation about it, a public conversation about it. To be like, hey, this is what happened, this is what I did, and I want to learn what I did wrong, why it was wrong, and I want to also show that to the public, because as a public figure, I feel the responsibility that what I did was wrong, and I don't want it to have a bad impact. So I want to correct it by doing this. And if his victims want to participate in this, that would have been great. And I think he has the talent to make it work, to not just make it a really good learning experience, but also make it entertaining. He could have done that. And I think he missed a big chance here. It's a huge lost opportunity. What he did, he had already done that. He can't return it. He can't erase it. And people are going to, even if he had done all of that, people would still decide not to visit his programs anymore. That would have happened anyway. But he could have, with this step, did great public service for everyone. And it is painful, it is embarrassing, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. Yes, it takes all the qualities that his victims had to come forward. And that would have been respectful to them to say, okay, I will put myself in this painful situation because I did this to you. So now I will go through this whole motion and I will confront this because I am truly sorry for what I did. And he talked about, in his recent sketch, he talked about the Parkland students, about dead children and all of that. And the thing is, I think you can joke about everything. I don't think the joke was funny. But what made it difficult is that he said, oh, the only thing that can make people forget that he jizzed in front of women was a joke about dead children. But it didn't work, did it? We still remember. So I'm not saying you can't make jokes like that. You can. But they were not up to his level of wittiness or his actual serious social criticism that he used to do. They were cheap and they were punching down on kids and with an incredible trauma who have done incredible activism afterwards that there was no need, there was no requirement for them to do, but they did it anyway. So if you want to make that kind of joke, the content should have been, the obvious logic is that you should convince any people who are pro-gun. The only thing that can convince them to change their mind is not even children dying, it's children who didn't die shaming them about it. That's the only thing that can change their mind. This could have been the content of the joke, what he could have done. And that would have been, with that message, with the platform from Louis C.K., it would have been better, I would say. It would have been wittier. It would have taken more skill than this. This is the joke that anyone can do, so it's a bit below his level, I feel like. But it wouldn't have been scandalous enough, I guess, to make people talk about this instead of what he did to the women. I think he can still turn it around. If he truly wants to make up for his actions, he could show a way how to work through revelation like that. And if you're in public life, yeah, it's not for anyone to do this. Like, not everyone could do this, but he had the chance, and I think he still has the chance to turn it around, and he can still make it better. I hope he does, because he has the intelligence and he has the creativity to do that. And other people have tried it, and I give them a lot of credit for it. There are two stories about that in the description below, so I hope you will read them. And yeah, that was my take on Louis C.K. and how he has handled his sexual assault allegations.